Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we will be going over my prayer plant, Calathea, however you want to pronounce it. My prayer plant collection that I have. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I currently have 9 prayer plant Calathea varieties that I will be going over with you. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Now we're going to start off down here with the infamous network Calathea, however you want to pronounce it. This guy here has an awesome pattern on her. See, can I see that pattern? And those leaves are just wonderful. I've never seen any kind of pattern as such on any plant. And for me, this plant grows at a stable rate. I'm pretty sure you've seen her in a previous video of mine, but of course she's part of that family, so I had to add along with the group. But again, this network here, you will not find, well, at least I haven't found, a plant that puts off this kind of pattern, and I love it. This plant specifically came from across the world, I think China, and when I first got her, she came in, it was like maybe 2 nodes, and of course, I nursed her and brought her back to life, and to this day, again, she's just doing good for me. I finally have the right condition for these guys to thrive, so I can't wait for the upcoming years to watch her grow. Again, this is my network, Calathea. Next plant we have the infamous rattlesnake. This plant here, I love it just because of its back. As you can see, they are a dark purple, burgundy, I would say burgundy or maroon, but it's just a nice color for a plant itself. I wish they had plants that was full colored like the back of the leaves, and maybe like the front part, and like if it was a rattlesnake like this one, the spots could be like black or something, or green. But this plant here I've had also for a while. She does wonderful for me. When I first got her, she came in a very small pot. I think it was maybe 2-inch pot, and I've been growing her ever since. And like I said before, I didn't really have the right conditions when I first started my Calathea collection. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that my Calathea collection was very, very extensive. I had over maybe 7 different kinds of Calathea, Sanguinas, Stromanthis. I had them all, and well, not all, but I had a lot. And of course, a little neglect and weather kind of, tropical really means tropical, and here in Georgia, our weather kind of varies from humid warm to just stupid cold, and that winter, leaving them outside was no. Even the root ball just disintegrated. It was horrible, but yeah, she's doing fine. I'm noticing, you can see here, there is where is it? There it is. Right there, there is some new growth coming in on her. I've seen these guys' leaves get up to maybe a foot long, and I really can't wait. I do love this plant. This plant was gifted to me, and she's not going anywhere. This is my network, Calathea. Next I have here is my Stromanthis sanguina. I think that's how you pronounce it. If not, I'll correct myself. I also will put names above or somewhere so that if I did chop and screw a name, at least you would know the name of the plant. But this is my Stromanthis sanguina. I've had her for a little while now. She's been growing pretty good. I would say just by the size of this pot, I mean, she's still fine. I will be doing a repot on her. I'm not sure. I say that just because of the length of this pot. If she's sitting next to something, she's able to stand up a little bit higher over some of the other plants. But of course, she has gorgeous backs on them. There are also, for this variety that I know of, it could be more, don't quote me on it, but there's the sanguina, there's the trio star, and I think it's called maybe the Milky Way or the constellation. Maybe the constellation is for not the monstera. I was thinking iron plant. I think that was the constellation, but it's somewhere up in that, and it's like really speckled. Those are really, really hard to come by. I haven't seen them anywhere in the stores, and I found this guy here at a local, what is that name? Not Ace, and it's not even local. It's in the capital, our capital, Atlanta. Pikes. Ha! There it is. I found this at a local Pikes, and she was much bigger than what's you're seeing here. But I did divide her, and I did some trading, some sellings, and I do a lot of giveaways or gifts rather to other plant enthusiasts, and also trades. I love a nice trade. But this here is the lovely Stromanthis sanguina. My next plant, let's do this one. My next plant is the Never Never plant. She's also, this is a Cententhia, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not, Cententhia labu. Yeah, so I'm not finna chop and screw that, but I would place the name as I said up there. But I would continue to call her the Never Never plant. I've had this plant for some time as well. As you can see, I did propagate her a couple of times. Well, maybe it was more than a couple of times. This is what actually made it out of the batch. And I think it was probably between 6 or 7 stems, but she got up to maybe about, from her plant base, I would say 3 feet maybe. And I've decided, alright guys, sorry about that. SD card got full and camera cut off. But as I was saying, she got up to about 3.5 feet tall, and you have to understand at the beginning of my prayer plant, Maranta, Calathea, anyway, the family, my journey, I wasn't as up to knowledge as to how much humidity they actually needed to thrive, and for my conditions, they were only living and not thriving. So I did chop her and prop her just for those purposes, and as you can see, the two, well, out of maybe like 4 or 5, only 2 made it. And well, more than 2 made it. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 made it. I did sell a couple and also traded and gave away, I think, 1. But I would also like the variegation to come back on her. I'm pretty sure it's just because of, like I said, she was living but not thriving. So they will grow up under low light conditions. But what I guess what I'm finding out and hearing from other enthusiasts is that it needs a little bit more light. And it's kind of hard when you have Calatheas, because too much light, if you know like I know, they would throw a complete fit. So yes, this is my Never Never plant. Now let's start. This is the Maranta family. I don't know if I mentioned them, the genius in the beginning or not, but let's start here with my favorite will be the Maranta silver band. I love this, love this plant. I thought that she didn't make it, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, I had a huge Maranta pot. If you've seen one of my previous videos where I did a rerooting with the philodendron Macaulay's finale and the Imperial Red, the pot that it was in, I had it filled with all of the Marantas except for maybe two, and those are close to almost impossible to find unless you're getting them from, I think, Indonesia or some area like that. And during this time with the whole COVID stuff, I definitely wouldn't risk it. And also hearing from some other YouTubers and enthusiasts like on Facebook that some of their plants that are getting are coming damaged and they're not knowing what's going on with it. So I wouldn't risk it, especially since that plant, the Maranta, the black form, is just, I don't know, if I get my hands on it, she might become number 2 of my Maranta's favorite. I'm not sure, but this little girl here has been growing ever since I found her regrowing in the actual pot. Right now she's sitting down with the lower end of my grow tent, and I don't know if you can notice, but you can see some of the purple huel on the back of it. I wish it was more pronounced like the rattlesnake here. But I honestly just think that these guys naturally just get purple, and it's not just because of the sun, or I mean, who knows, because these are actually 2 different varieties, but kind of sort of in the same family. But I'm pretty sure if I get a little bit more light than what it's getting, the leaves would be a little bit more darker on the back, which I would actually love, but she's still gorgeous regardless. But the dark burgundy on the back would be pretty nice. But this is my Maranta silver band. What do we have next? Let's go with this one here. In here, in this little nursery pot, I have a couple of clippings, or I would say probably a root ball rather, of a green Maranta, basically. Let me see here. She's pretty healthy, but I have a bigger specimen in the back, but I didn't want to show her just because of a project that I'm doing, and I want to do them all together, and I didn't want to spoil, what I'm actually doing with it. But the project that I did do, it turned out, I mean, perfect, and I'm willing to discard, quote unquote, some of my plants like this just to get that project to work. And luckily I don't need any more green Maranta just because of the project that I'm doing. Like I said, I don't need it, and this one here is just an extra that I think the one that I have in there might have came from a cutting. I'm not sure, but yeah, this is my green Maranta. Well, one of them, my mature one, is back there in the back. I will get into that, I guess, a little bit later. I still have one more Maranta that I'm going to show as well that needs to be chopped and propped. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a quick video on that or not. But any of the Marantas that you're seeing in water, they're definitely going into the, I call it the Maranta project, which will be I probably could do 1, 2, 3, maybe 4-part series that I'm going to do once I start the project. I need to get a couple of more materials for it, and I would be set. And I would be set to at least engage into the process and get a complete result from them. But the actual setup, as in where I want to house the house for them, probably will come a little later, just because I have to find the right size for them, and also make sure that the container that I'm using, which I can say, which is glass, I need to make sure that they fit perfectly, and it also has space to grow. So again, this is my green prayer plant, Maranta. Next, what we have here is the variegated Maranta. As you can see, she's down in water. And she's been cut. The mother plant, she's when I do these guys, I basically just I say head them, so I take everything off, so there's nothing there except for little stumps and of course a root system. I'm doing that of course for the project that I mentioned, but this is what was left from her. When I got her, she was a smaller plant, but I will see, can I find a video maybe on Instagram that I have, and I can insert it, and you can see actually how beautiful that pot was. But yeah, she's propagating now in water, and I'm working, like I said, on getting my project together, so that's why they are sitting in water. And also, you notice like some of these, they have the crispy tips, and that's only just because of the watering. You're not supposed to really overwater these, but some of mine, they just love the water, and usually about time when you notice it's kind of late, so you have to keep them on the go, which is also why I want to do the project that I'm doing. Once I start my project, I'm sure I'm going to either trim some of these leaves or just take them off, because they are older leaves. And as they get older, of course, they will get bigger. Just like this little guy here that sits in the front. This will be a perfect specimen for what I'm doing. And also, with it being that size, it can actually grow out a little bit more. But this is my variegated Maranta. All right, over here I have, of course, again, propagating for a certain project, what would be my lemon lime Maranta, or lemon Maranta. She would be probably a third favorite of mine, just because of the striking color and pattern. If you can get these guys the almost perfect sunlight, then you will have the perfect specimen. Now with these, as you can see in here, they do have some crispy edges. This one here came from Grow Light, but the other eldest leaves are some of the original leaves. This plant spent most of its days outside under a bush, actually loving it. And as I said before, when I did my certain project, you really can't beat that process, just because of, you know, the humidity and keeping it watered and so on and so on. But as you can see, I did chop her, and I'm going to use her again in a project of mine. But yes, this is my green lemon lime Maranta, and she is just wonderful. I wish she also had the back purple, but this variety doesn't, and it's still okay. But of course, that two-toned color would have been nice. Stick this here. I think I have one more to do. Yes, here she is. If I can get her up, here we go. This here is my Maranta, my red Maranta. She's doing pretty good. Binding out perfectly once I do my propping, like even looking at this one here, that there would be a perfect specimen to use for what I'm doing. Of course, as you can see, she's a little bare here. That used to be a plant, but of course, with me being me, I put these in I wouldn't say low light conditions, but the conditions weren't the conditions of these weren't as they needed to, and it started to thin out some. But what I realized with these is that from the crown or the center, they send out new shoots. So if I would have let this stay in here, she would have filled herself out from the pot itself. But I would prefer to do my project, and that way I would really, and honestly, I wouldn't have to do anything but give them the adequate light they need. But since I will be getting the rest of the materials, I am going to do a quick prop with these guys to show you exactly how to prop these. Of course, most all plants that find tend to have nodes, so it makes it a lot easier. And from this plant here, in order for me to use the pieces that I need, I have to cut that node exactly the length that I needed, instead of like this one, which would be like a whole long one, which would be fine, but it beats the purpose of what I'm doing. But yeah, guys, that is it. That is my entire collection of prayer plant, Marantas, Calatheas, however you want to call it, pronounce it, that I have in my possession. I'm going to see, can I put a picture of the rabbit's foot that I did have, but I'm currently looking for again, that hopefully I can find. I usually find them at Lowe's. And I will also insert the infamous black Maranta that I must have. And there might have been one more. I'm not sure. But yeah, guys, this is my collection of Maranta prayer plants, Calatheas. Again, look out for a video with me propping her, and also stay tuned to the actual maybe 3, 4, 5-part series that I'm doing with my actual project. And guys, just staring at this little guy, these red veins are just wonderful. Look at that. Alright, you guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Again, I have videos coming out every day. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.